2023 Cervelo Soloist, size 61, weighing 19 pounds, 3 ounces, with the new 105 DI2. Stay tuned after video. We have a free buy sound test on these Fulcrum wheels right here. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video, and today I have for you guys something very exciting. This is the 2023 Cervelo Soloist in the size 61. And if you guys know, I already did a video touching on this bike's all its features, everything like that. But this model I have today in front of me has the brand new Shimano 105 DI2. This model retails by Cervelo for $5,200, and as you guys just saw, the size 61 weighed right in around 19 pounds 4 ounces. So in today's video, I'm going to go over this whole bike again, show you guys what to get, what you expect with it, the wheels, but mainly I'm going to be focusing on the 105 DI2 to kind of talk about that as well, to show you guys some hidden features on it, and then I'll kind of give you guys some tidbit of information on the Cervelo bike as well. Cervelo is doing a great job, to be honest with you, this year with supplying and getting these bikes in dealers' hands. Like the Ultegra DI2, it was on a Cervelo R5. That was the first time I saw that in the States. And then same thing with the Cervelo bike as well on the Soloist. It's the first time I get to see the 105 DI2 bike right here as well. So I'm very excited. I'll show you guys, like I said, some cool little tips and tricks about the 105 DI2 and some features you might want to know about. But without further ado, let's get into the video. All right, so starting off with the handlebars, as we can see right here, we have the new 105 Shimano DI2 shifters. And again, I think this is going to be a very great price point of a bike. You're getting basically all of the new technology that comes with the Shimano 12-speed stuff that you see on the Ultegra and the Dura-Ace, but you just get it a little bit heavier. But in essence, it's the exact same shifting experience. You get the same similar style of hoods. You get the same feel of the new blade and also new shifter points. You get the very same rear derailleur where you charge it at. The only thing different is going to be some few minimal things, like I said before. But in terms, it's the exact same kind of hookup. You have a battery inside the C-tube. It's a semi-wireless system where there's a cable running from the rear derailleur and a cable running to the front derailleur up to a battery. And then the shifters are a wireless hookup to the rear derailleur. But on here, it's the exact same ergonomics as the Ultegra DI2 and the exact same ergonomics as the Dura-Ace DI2. The only thing missing on the 105 shifters compared to Ultegra and Dura-Ace is that they don't have these little buttons up top here that you can normally change your Garmin pages or your Wahoo pages and circle through your GPS. I also, on my app for my Ultegra DI2, I have the buttons here. I actually change those to kind of shifters, so if I'm ever riding and I want to grab right here, I can have access to shift while riding right there. So that's just my personal preference. But that is a downside that you don't get these little buttons. But in essence, it's the exact same brake feel quality. It's the exact same shift as well. In the rear, it's very lightning fast. But the only difference is going to be the front derailleur is going to be a little bit different. And then with the Soloist as well, we have the new integration cable system that's going to go down into the head tube, through the bars, through the stem, right underneath there. And this is much easier as well. This is for a rider who maybe wants to work on his bike at home. This is for a rider who's maybe unsure of their fit. You can actually pop off this stem, put on a larger stem, put on a shorter stem. You can lower the stem if you want as well without having to re-bleed cables like the S5, like the R5, where the cables are ran internally through the bars and stem. So that's a big plus for anyone who wants a Cervelo bike but doesn't want the headache of doing all that. With the bike, you do get the included Garmin mount as well, and you can put a light on here. But again, $5,200 for a fully electronic 12-speed bike seems to be the norm. This is the exact same price as the Rival E-Tap, so you choose your choice. If you want SRAM Rival or if you want 105 DI2, it is going to be a little bit lighter, the 105 DI2, and also you get a little bit more tech, I believe, with the 105 DI2 as well. But going down to the head tube, look at this massive. This is a 61 again, so this is a double XL frame. This massive, like Eiffel Tower head tube. This thing is huge. And fun fact for you guys, they didn't make the S5 in a 61 because of seat tube problems or seat tube length. So this is a bike that if you want to get an aero bike by Cervelo, the Soloist is the only 61 bike they make. So just let you guys know. Going down to the frame, we have the Cervelo logo on the front, and then we have this nice wide tire clearance here as well. You can now fit up to 700 by 34C tires on here. You can basically run the UCI gravel race and maybe win it for the men's and women's championship now. That was just a little joke, given that the fact that you can actually put 34Cs on here. Yes, it's nice that you can run wider tires to make it more comfortable, but also, in essence, the whole meaning behind this is that they wanted to widen the frame to make the bike a little bit more aerodynamic and stick out more to give it less dirty air. If it was thinner, it'll kind of go and hit everything. They're trying to widen the bike up to get almost to the profile of a rider down the road. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, we know it's not the case, but you get the gist of it. They also make this bike in the black color, which I'm showing right here, which you can see with the sparkles right now, which I'll show off. And they make it in like this like golden yellow color. But this black color is actually beautiful. It's just a simple black with a little bit of a white logo, and it has these little sparkles inside of it, which looks really nice. The wheels on here are going to be the Fulcrum wheels. It is a Fulcrum Racing 600C aluminum wheel set with a Fulcrum hub. We have on here the Vittoria Corsa NEX tires. These are a 700 by 28C tire. Are these 28 or are they 30s? Yes, 700 by 28C tires. These are tubeless ready. These are a brand new tire that came out. And the wheels are tubeless ready as well. You would just have to include your own tubeless fluid and valve on here because they come with tube stock. You get the 105 brake caliper as well. This is the new and improved brake caliper by Shimano. It's the exact same brake caliper as Ultegra and the exact same brake caliper as Dura-Ace. You have the same bleed port, and it's gonna give you that same 10% more clearance for better braking, less grind, less grit, and everything like that. Rotors on here are gonna be a Shimano 105 160mm rotor, and they are a center lock rotor as well, which is very nice. You can see here, Cervelo did do some graphic design down the down tube here, and they made the down tube area by the bottom bracket much beefier as well. And this is a bike that they changed from the normal press fit bottom bracket, and they put in here a threaded bottom bracket, which I'm sure a lot of you threaded Cervelo people are gonna be happy about. You get a threaded T47 bottom bracket. This is a BB Wright bottom bracket with a Shimano 24mm spindle. That is a big plus. The added carbon around here is going to make add aero qualities and also beef up this area to give you less horizontal flex. And also they added to the UCI rules that you can make this a little bit deeper now, so you do have some aero qualities here as well on this Cervelo. You can see right here we have a nice little Cervelo logo. Let me see if I can get zoomed in on it. Cervelo Soloist, established in 1995. And then this is a big no for me. You're paying $5,200 for this bike. I love the bike. The bike looks cool. I love the group set. The group set looks cool. Maybe it's just because of the fact that it's tough to get cranks right now by Shimano. We were just talking about that. Shimano cranks are impossible to get. I have group sets sitting in my store without Shimano crank sets. But you put a base model Shimano crank on here, not even a 105, not even the new 105 crank. That's the whole thing about this new group set. Is it's aesthetic. It's much sharper lines, bolder looking. You put a base model Shimano crank on a $5,200 bike. That's a huge no for me. Maybe this will be subjected to change later on down the road. But I would also be pissed if I bought this bike and then it did subject to change and they put the new 105 cranks on there. I'd be pissed. I would want mine swapped out. But that's what can I say? You look at that. I mean, this crank does not match that rear derailleur or this bike. So anyways, 5034 crank set as well. So it's more of a compact climbing bike. And then here is the new 105 DI2 front derailleur. This is one of the biggest changes between the 105 and the Ultegra DI2. The rear derailleur is almost exactly the same, except for parts and hardware and stuff like that. But you can see here, this is a much different front derailleur. This is basically like the old DI2 11-speed front derailleur, much more bulkier. You have the same plug-in here. It's not as quick and responsive as the new 12-speed Ultegra DI2, or it's not as quick as the Dura-Ace DI2 going up and down. Still lightning fast, still reliable. Shimano has a great job of making a good front derailleur that works, but it is bulkier than the Ultegra DI2. So keep that in mind. This is like the exact same as the 11-speed DI2. Just a nice little bulky box, but still, I mean, there's no issues with the 11-speed at all with the front derailleurs going up and down. So if you don't care about aesthetics, they did a good job of blending it. It doesn't look too massive by keeping it all one color. It's not that big of a deal. You have a Cervelo chain guard right here. You have the Shimano 12-speed 105 chain, and then also you have the new Shimano 12-speed 105 DI2 cassette. This is a 1134 cassette. And then what Shimano did to make it 12-speed, instead of going like SRAM where they added a 10-tooth cog down here, they kept the traditional gearing, the 1134. They just added like a 16-tooth cog in the middle because they figured that riders would be riding that more than a harder gear. So they gave riders a better option of gearing in the middle. Now for the beautiful part, the Shimano 105 DI2 rear derailleur. You have the direct mount chainring mount, you have the cable, yes, you have the Shimano 105 logo, but it looks very similar to the Ultegra DI2. Literally, it's just a color difference on here, but you have the same LED light back here, you have the same charge port back here to plug in, and then also you have the difference of the buttons connections right here as well to go ahead and connect everything. Sorry about that, I want to wait for some sunlight to show up here. But you can just basically see, in essence, it's the exact same thing as the Ultegra. It just looks a little bit duller. The cage looks a bit duller, the finishing looks a bit duller. Obviously, this material of the cassette's a little bit cheaper as well. It's going to be heavier. The whole group set's just going to be heavier and carry itself heavier. But in terms of shift quality in the back, it's going to be nice. What a lot of people do to 105 DI2 to upgrade it, they put on an Ultegra cassette, an Ultegra chain, because it seems to work better with each other. Whereas this cassette's a little bit cheaper. You can run it no problem, but if you want to lighten up the bike and get a little bit quieter drivetrain as well, that's a nice option. Going to the rear rotor, you still have a 160mm rotor in the rear, just the same as the front. And you have the 105 DI2 brake caliper as well. Looks very nice right there. You have the through axles that go in the back, and then the same wheel as well. This is the Fulcrum 600 racing wheel, aluminum rim with the alloy spokes. These are circular, they're not bladed. You have the Fulcrum hub in here as well. I'll have a free body sound test at the end of the video. And the same tire, the Vittoria Corsa NEX 700 by 20 AC tire. Now for the seat post, this is their own carbon fiber seat post. This is a more rounded, or I'm sorry, more aero seat post with its own seat wedge right here. You have this little rubber guard to go ahead and block sweat, but this is their own proprietary seat post for this bike, and it is a 15mm setback seat post, which, like I said in my previous videos, they're not really doing the 25mm anymore. They're not really doing the 20mm setback. They're all doing 15 to 10mm setbacks, and they're making this much, much nicer. Sorry about that, I got a phone call. But yes, this is the 15mm setback, and then they have on here the Sella Italia saddle. Nice wide cutout, short nose, and then nice sit bone support right here as well. You're seeing more and more companies go to the short saddles on these aero bikes. It just seems to be a little bit better for consumers. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Again, this is the 2023 Cervelo Soloist with 105 DI2. Retails for $5,200, and this thing was a size 61, so a double XL, and this thing retail for, weighed in 19 pounds, 3 ounces. Again, that is pretty heavy, but that crank is pretty heavy. Those wheels are pretty heavy, and this is the biggest size of bike that you can actually get from this company. So keep that in mind when you're buying your bike. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Oh, and before the free body sound test, thank you guys again so much for Tune Cycles for supplying this bike. They sell Cervelo. They have this bike in stock in a size 61. They also have some S5s in stock and also some R5s. So if you guys are looking for a Cervelo, I will put the link down below in the description. And thanks again to Tune Cycles for letting me go ahead and get a video of this bike. All right, here comes a free body sound test on these Fulcrum 600 racing wheels. They're very quiet, so by the way, so keep in mind. I mean, all you can really hear is just the rubbing of the disc on there, but they're super quiet. So if you like the quietness, that might be something for you. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.